If you haven't been enticed so far to plunk down some money for an NFT, would exclusive ownership of a Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph do the trick? Details are coming up on For Immediate Release. Another fine podcast from the FIR Podcast Network.
This is For Immediate Release, the podcast for communicators.
Shall we go again? Episode 3 of, or rather the third in the short versions of For Immediate Release.
We're going to have to stop numbering those.
Yeah, well, or saying it because I can't remember the numbers. But we got an interesting topic we want to address today, just have a chat about really, NFTs. It's a topic we've mentioned quite a few times on the long form show, the monthly detailed deep dive. But every day I'm seeing stuff about NFTs and speculative commentary and opinions about what is it, who's doing it, how successful will it be, etc. But this story caught my eye earlier this week about the Associated Press forming an NFT marketplace. This struck me as quite interesting.
Me too.
Yeah, they are offering photos from their humongous library of unique, famous, Pulitzer Prize winning, etc., photographs taken over the past several decades, if not 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 decades maybe, by some of the world's most celebrated photographers in news and in culture and other topics. So they're launching this at the end of January. It's been reported widely. There's a lack of lots of detail, but what we do know is interesting, which again makes it a useful topic of discussion in comparison, let's say, with what some others are doing in this broad area of NFTs. So NFTs in this context are digital versions of photographs for the AP. They're digital photos. So they're offering what they call unique NFTs, including Pulitzer Prize-winning photos from some of the most important moments in history and scenes from around the world as captured through the lenses of their world-famous photographers. Collectors at all levels are aiming at, not just the professional collectors, but casual buyers who might be interested to buy, sell, and trade official AP digital collectibles through a marketplace they're setting up. There's a company doing this called Xooa, Xooa, who are doing this kind of thing for a number of large companies. So they're partnered with someone who seems to know what they're doing. It's had a lot of interest, I think. They issued a press release which set out their vision of what they see from this. One element of it that is different perhaps to others is that they're using, given that their journalism is part of a non-profit side of their business, the money from this will go into funding their journalism. They don't explain how, or no more details in that statement in their press release. So it's not a profit-making enterprise from their point of view broadly, other than the fact that there are profits, but they go into funding their journalism. So here we have one of the world's preeminent news organizations venturing into this market that offers something that, as we were discussing earlier, isn't especially unique compared to what many are offering in terms of benefits to the participants in the marketplace. You tend to hear a lot about what the benefits are to the creators of the digital art in NFT in the NFT space. Here we focus strongly on what you get if you join this marketplace. You get the content they talk about, exclusive and historic, they say, choices of payment types, from real money to credit cards to cryptocurrencies. Scarcity management, interesting phrase that. Be confident in the value of the NFTs you're purchasing. That talks about the fact they're not going to flood the market with multiple copies of similar images. So you will have that element. I'm not sure about how that's being managed. I don't go into the detail of that. Broad exclusive price points, favorable pricing, they say, to casual users, not just to career collectors in their terminology. And Xooa offers dedicated customer support 24/7, any questions you've got. So is this really different? I think because it's the AP and they're establishing a community, it seems to me, around this marketplace, that it could be offering something a bit different, particularly if they focus on things like that historic content scarcity management. If they've got security in there to protect the what do you call it? The technology isn't scammed. that you are buying stuff that's genuine, I think they may well have something. So I think this is a really interesting move. It's a first in this space, it seems to me. I've not seen anything else from the equivalent of any APs, although there might be others. And they are not pumping this up beyond a press release and some of the tech journals that have covered it so far. So what's your take on it?
Yeah, I'm very excited by this. I think it's an evolution, one of the first evolutionary steps with NFTs. I've thought for a while that it was going to require a real business getting into this. Yeah. Obviously, the NBA is a real business and Top Shots is a huge success, but this is a different thing than just, like a sports card collectible. And I think part of what's interesting is that they've come up with a program. They're not just throwing stuff up there. So they're going to do what they're calling a Pulitzer drop every 2 weeks that will include the photograph's metadata, time, date, location, what equipment and technical settings were used in shooting the picture, and those will be made available. And they're talking about stuff that's going to come up in the future, and one of those that really intrigues me, well, two intrigue me. One is new content concepts. Can't wait to see what that is. But the other one is off-chain benefits, which means something outside the blockchain. And we've talked about the fact that with NFTs, what you get essentially is a token that shows that you have the exclusive ownership rights to this particular asset that is somewhere on the web. Off-chain benefits is something that is beyond that. And I can't wait to see what that is, because that could add a whole new dimension of value to what we're talking about with NFTs.
Yeah.
Or Nifties. However you want to say that.
I agree. And those things you mentioned, they do say that these are new features coming soon. How soon? No one knows, but soon. And that's coming from Zua. But it got me thinking too that who would this appeal to outside the what they call the career collectors, the casual buyer? Is that who they're trying to entice into this NFT space? I wonder. I would classify myself at this point in time as a casual buyer of NFTs. I've not bought one yet.
I have not. Have you bought an NFT?
No, I haven't.
I haven't bought an NFT yet.
I haven't bought one yet.
I've invested in crypto, but I haven't.
Yeah, you have. And you made some good money. I saw that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But I haven't. I've speculated a bit with Bitcoin and haven't lost any money so far. Let's put it that way. But I think the concept of this would appeal to someone like me, I think. It's the AP, and you've got a chance to get something. I'm not a kind of photo collector or any kind of person who's seriously interested in that, but this does interest me a lot, where they describe about exclusive, historic, and stunning visual content over the years. I could imagine... If I were an American, for instance, the Iwo Jima picture, wasn't that one of AP's photographers took that? That was
that's a good question.
Kafka. I think it was
I don't remember
Kafka or one of those guys who took it.
Yeah, it could have been UPI. I suppose. Well, I don't know. I'd have to look.
I reckon it was AP. So
I think if you look at the categories of photos that they're offering, they're going to have some around climate. They're going to have some around space. So I don't think you have to be in a broad category. If you're into outer space, and you see this stunning image and you say, "I want to be the owner of that," you can be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people spend money so that they can name a star. It's nothing official, right? But they give them away as gifts. You hear it advertised over here every holiday season. Send somebody a gift, name a star for them. Do they get the star? No, of course not. But it has value for people who want to share that. So, if you want to be the exclusive owner of this spectacular photo of, a rocket taking off from, Cape Canaveral, right. You can, and you don't have to worry about the images that have to do with some other category.
Yeah. I mean, I think the one other thought in my mind is the kind of credibility of a marketplace, where the stories you hear a lot are some of the dubious characters who inhabit some of the marketplaces that are already out there. So you hear news of scams, you hear fraud. You hear stuff about forgeries, fakeries, you name it. So that's got to be addressed. And I think they'd probably start off with some credibility with their name, that you're not likely to find fakes on the AP marketplace. I think that probably is something they might want to really emphasize, that they take care of things like that, so you can rest assured that you're not buying a forgery, that they guarantee the provenance. And there's some ways that give you confidence that that guarantee is genuine and real and worth something. So,
right.
that's
by
the
the way,
future.
it's worth mentioning that they've done this in blockchain before. Last October, they partnered with Chainlink Labs to ensure that any data from its U.S. newspaper and broadcaster members would be cryptographically verified. And that's not the only thing they've done on the blockchain. So, this is just another logical step for AP, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a really bold move they've taken there. And some of the other competitors of theirs, Getty Images, for instance, who might be thinking about this, are probably watching very closely what AP does. As I mentioned, they're launching this at the end of January. The website that you can go to, when I visited it today, was really slow. I guess there are a lot of people taking a look. So I signed up to be notified and all this. And of course, their marketing of it is such that if you recommend it to friends and they use a special link, you move up in the waiting list chain. I mean, it's that kind of stuff going on. But hey, that's the nature of things these days, isn't it? With attracting interest.
And I think, for our listeners, communicators, I think what this means is if AP as a business can be doing this,
right, so can you.
Why can't yours? I'm thinking of whoever owns Alka-Seltzer could actually sell the NFT for the spicy meatball commercial, right? I mean, what assets do companies have? We've been involved in media for decades and decades. There could be things where people would say, I would love to be the owner of that commercial, or whatever.
You're right. I mean, there's lots we could talk about this, but this will do for this episode of For Immediate Release. We might be talking about this in the main monthly show at some point, maybe the next one that's coming up soon.
I do want to add, not relevant to our conversation, but if you listened to the last monthly show or looked at the post on the website, you saw that we were going to have our next episode up this coming Monday. We've had a scheduling conflict, so it'll be the following Monday that the show will be up.